going on, boxing fans? It's Julian Williams with The Distance. Got another video for you guys. This one is another fantasy matchup for Ranton Plan 13. This one is Rocky Marciano versus Gene Tunney. Overall, this is a really good matchup. This is a good matchup because we have a widely known heavyweight champion, Rocky Marciano. Though I do kind of feel that in a way Marciano was unappreciated as a champion because pretty much he was, I guess America was looking for their heroic heavyweight champion, and Marciano didn't really hold the belt for that long, and then he didn't really have those heroic challenges that people like Joe Louis and other heavyweight champions have faced in the past. I do think that Rocky Marciano was very underappreciated. Same as Gene Tunney. Gene Tunney, I do kind of consider the forgotten heavyweight champion. He only had 2 defenses in his career. One against Jack Dempsey, another against pretty much an overmatched opponent. It was pretty much his last fight. He held the heavyweight title from 1926 to 1928. Max Schmeling won the belt, following him. But Gene Tunney was a really good boxer. Fighting Marine, 6 feet tall, had 77-inch reach. He can, and pretty much he had kind of an outside style. He didn't really engage with you. He kind of, he was a pure boxer. He stayed on the outside. He's very scientific. He did a very good job of landing that short left hook on the inside and clinching right away. He did a very good job of that. And at the same time, on the inside, when people would try to land punch, he got the glove up. Got the glove up and caught very few shots on the inside at times. He only had 1 loss in his career. Only had 1 loss, and pretty much he had some good victories. Tommy Gibbons and Jack Dempsey are some quality wins. Though he only held the belt, from 26 to 28. He only had 2 defenses of that title. But really, a lot of people remember Gene Tunney from the long count. Either they remember him from the long count, or they remember him from being the guy who beat Jack Dempsey, who a lot of people saw as unstoppable as a heavyweight, and he pretty much outboxed him. But in this fight, what you get here is you get the slugger versus boxer type fight. Rocky Marciano did a very good job of coming straight forward, and at the same time he was very relentless. He was very relentless. If you look at the Archie Moore fight, you'll see what I mean. He just kept landing all kinds of ravaging shots on Archie Moore, and Archie Moore was able to, he was able to take the shot for like 9 rounds. But at the same time, we've seen Rocky Marciano, get caught with the counter left hand. Gene Tunney did a good job with the counter right, but overall, Rocky Marciano, I do think, was a very aggressive fighter. Came forward, knew how to go to the body, knew how to come up to the head, knew how to land in that chin, and was just a very aggressive fighter. He's had fights where he's been out boxing, he came back and won the fight towards the end of the fight. Gene Tunney pretty much outboxed his opponents. Pretty much he was an opponent who outthought and out-hustled his opponents. Did a very good job landing his left jab, and sometimes he followed up with the right hand. But he did throw like single shots. But at the same time, he wasn't willing to engage with you. Got the glove up. He pretty much moved, like when he got on the ropes, he got right off the ropes. Circled around quite a bit, and did a very good job of boxing, not engaging. In this fight against Rocky Marciano, this is a very hard fight to score because we're considering the times here. We're considering 1926. We're considering 1950. I'd say 53, 54 Marciano. 54 Marciano, I believe, beat Joe Louis, an older incarnation of Joe Louis. And really, I guess that's a fight that he didn't even want. But we just know that Rocky Marciano was just a relentless fighter. He continued to come forward for 15 rounds. He just always came forward. Had 43 knockouts under his belt, and he knew how to wear his opponents down. Even if he had opponents who had awkward style, say per se Jersey Joe Walcott, very awkward style, wore him down, knocked him out. You know, with that right hand, knocked him clean on the ropes. But in a fight like this, I do see Marciano chasing after Tunney, and Tunney, who is very technically sound. I see him landing all kinds of single shots, keeping his left jab out there. You know, pretty much trying to use that size advantage. They were kind of the same size, but I do believe that Tunney was a bit longer. So I think that he would more than likely keep the jab out there, and Rocky may have trouble getting inside the jab. You'll never know with Marciano, because Marciano I did think was a very good boxer. A lot of people think I don't like Marciano, but I do think he was a very good boxer. I think he knew what to do with his abilities and utilize them to his advantage. And I think he would do the same thing with Gene Tunney. Though Gene Tunney did have that boxing style, and pretty much I did think that he's one of the greatest heavyweight champions of all time. You know, because he did bring about a very technical style of, you know, pretty much, because what heavyweight division was men slugging it out, and until, you know, one fighter couldn't take it anymore, and Gene Tunney was kind of like, well, I don't have to take it, so I'll just stay on the outside and I'll fight. I'll come inside, I'll land my shots, and I'll get right back out. That was Gene Tunney's style. And against Rocky Marciano, I don't see anything different. I just see a lot of Gene Tunney movement. I see him being very technical in this fight. I see it being very close. But I think that Gene Tunney could pull off this fight. I think Gene Tunney could pull off by a very close, unanimous decision against Rocky Marciano. And they did have like different scorecards back then, when it wasn't 10-8, 10-9, whatever. It was more of who won more rounds than the other fighter. So really, I do think that Gene Tunney will win this fight by a very, very close unanimous decision. I think that Tunney will probably win the early rounds, and Rocky Marciano will probably win the later rounds. But I'm going to go with Tunney, unanimous decision. But anyway, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.